second delay on these things. I hope we're on. I guess we'll find out in a minute. Let me just change the game volume so it doesn't drown my voice out. That's not it. AV settings. Just turn all these down so I'm not drowned out. Hello, Commander Cody. The time has come. Execute Order 66, and so on and so forth. That should be alright. If the game volume gets to... if that starts to drown me out, then let me know. Adam! Hello! How are you, my friend? This stream is just essentially just to check in on everyone, really, and just to dick about in a game. This is Injustice 1. Because I figured I do have Injustice 2, but I want to replay both, so I figured I'll play the story of Injustice 1 and then the story of Injustice 2 another time, I guess. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. You're alive. That's good news. It's very good news because should be alright. Is there an option to put subtitles on? Okay, they're on. That's good. Who has the same problem? What problem is that? Let's just hop into the story. I presume if you just go chapters, it still has the cutscenes and everything. Don't know. I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, it has the cutscenes. Okay then, that's fine. Let's say if the game volume. What doing? How is everyone? Especially after yesterday's news, which if you saw my Twitter or know me on the, in fact this is a pretty good representation of the UK currently, this sort of desolate landscape here. If you saw my Twitter yesterday, you'll know that I was pretty angry and upset about what happened yesterday with all this news business, so I just wanted to hop on and do a stream and make sure everyone was alright, really. Even though this is already quite depressing, isn't it? Who is that voice? It's definitely not Mark Hamill as the Joker, but I recognise that voice from somewhere. That's cool. I love that. I love this game. I know the second one kind of blows it out of the water because of the amount of stuff it introduces. But this is still a really good game. It's just a bit basic when compared to the second one, but it's still a lot of fun elsewhere. But yeah. And I remember actually playing this when it came out and just being really impressed. I think this was 2013, so I was, do the maths, 11? Yeah, 11 years old. No, 11, 12 years old, something like that. And I was just really impressed by how cinematic it is, and I'm still... The graphics have aged, obviously, but it's still pretty good. Can we just have this in the films, please? Can we just have... I mean, we're getting that way now with the way the DCEU's going, but can we just have superheroes in costumes fighting bad guys again? Having some banter with one another. Because we haven't had that in DC. I mean, I say that, I've been really impressed with the last few DCEU films. I loved Shazam and I loved Birds of Prey. I just want them to do the Justice League right. God, the frame rate's terrible. Chapter 1. Batman. Batman? Batman, you say? Coming for you. I don't like Batman's design in the mainline universe that this game has. I like the Insurgency design that we saw at the start, but this design is a bit too busy for me. But we have Kevin Conroy as Batman, so it all evens out because he's perfect. Okay, I think we're about to get into the first fight. Here we go. Now, something you'll notice is I'm not very good at fighting games. I'm okay at this one because it's a very sort of basic fighting game, and it's very sort of pick up and play. Whereas the second one's a little more complex in that regard. But this, I'm okay. I mean, I think because we're early on in the story, you'd be hard pressed to mess up on this one. I love these stage transitions. They are so cool. I love them. Which Batman suit do I hate the most? Like, ever? Like... Okay, we'll just go, like, films and, say, games, like, adaptations, because if I went into the comics, going through every suit, that would take a long time. I guess my least favourite... I don't know, I mean... I'm not overly fond of the Ben Affleck suit, but that's just because the way it's built, like, I know it's tried to be a throwback to Dark Knight Returns and Frank Miller and everything, but the way it's built and the way Batfleck wears it, it just makes him look like a really dumpy, like, fat old man, and I just think, I don't know, it doesn't look right, unfortunately. I can see what they were going for. It's supposed to literally be the Dark Knight Returns suit, essentially. But it just doesn't quite work. The Batman and Robin suit isn't great because it's just basically one big black piece. There's nothing to break. Like, the symbol is just this really dull, like, grey colour. There's nothing to break it up because everything's just the same colour on that suit. It's why I like the yellow symbol, because people like to take the piss and say it's just like Batman's walking around with a target on his chest. And yeah, but it's a bit of colour to break up the costume. It's like, I get annoyed when people say, oh, Superman shouldn't have the trunks, because I just think he looks weird without them. I think it's just, you need something to break up the blue of the costume. And the trunks do that. And it's I've not watched Supergirl for a while, because I've fallen out of those Arrowverse shows. But in the Supergirl costume they've changed to from the one they had before, it's just all blue now, I believe, whereas before they had like the blue top half and then she had the red skirt which broke up the rest of it, whereas now it's just all blue, and it's just like, it just looks, I don't know, it's just, you need something to break up the colours, I think. No worries at all. As I say, this stream is just a really chill one, just to make sure everyone's alright, really, just in this lockdown. Just to connect with people. I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but my streams were never really that popular, but it's cool. Oh god, I've forgotten I'm used to playing Injustice 2, it's weird going back to this. Okay, there we go. No, I'm trying to grab him, there we go. I think this story does a good job at making the fights feel fairly natural. Like, a little bit of a problem I had with the second game is some of the fights in the story mode, the story almost felt a bit contrived to force a fight into the narrative. So obviously it's a fighting game, you have to have fights. But this game feels pretty natural, I think. I want to grab that robot. Actually, I know what I want to do. Yes! Flying tonight! Yeah. Maybe I'm better than this than I thought, because I'm not doing too badly. In fact, should we do a super move? Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, yes it is. Ha. I like that. The Batmobile, like, no matter what stage you're in, that super move is always the same. So we're in space. Where did that Batmobile come from? I really like the voice of Luthor in this game. I think he's great. Oh. Oh god, this is an early PS4 game, isn't it? Where you have to use the touch. I forgot about these mini games. Yeah, the second one wisely took this one out, took these mini games out because they're not very good. Because I had the original version of this on the Xbox 360 when that came out, and I believe in the place of these were just quick time events with buttons, so it was a bit less frustrating. Because these are just the easiest thing ever. There's no challenge here at all. Time to teach you humility. And now we're in a fight. Thank you. I don't think it really matters if you win or lose that, because whatever happens, you'll go into a fight anyway. I want to knock him into that. There we go. There we go. Hey, there we go. Hang on, let's see the combos. Okay. You asked for this. You're afraid. The computer just didn't bother position to get back up to the top. Is it this? Try this on, genius. I mean, I know I said I don't like this suit because it's too busy, but at the same time, I seem to be one of the few people that really loves the Dark Knight suit from the Dark Knight film, and that should like really piss me off because it's just one colour and completely like busy. It's got all these bits on it. I really like it. I don't know whether it's just because I sort of I don't know. I really like that suit, and a lot of people do. I've been doing this a lot lately in this lockdown. I've been revisiting stuff that I haven't watched in years, or played in years, or read in years, and it's been nice actually. I mean, I know I'm always like, oh, there's so many TV shows I've got to watch, and I never have the time. We've all got all the time in the world right now, but I just keep like defaulting to the familiar stuff. I'm terrible for that, but I just think we all need a bit of comfort in this time. Tara Strong as Harley, wonderful. Arlene Sorkin is still the best Harley, but Tara Strong is damn good as Harley Quinn. Speaking of Harley, I'm really the first episode is only aired in the UK, but I'm really enjoying the Harley Quinn animated series, that the DC Universe one that we never got over here. They've just started airing it in the UK on E4, and I watched the first episode. It's really good. It's very much in the same vein of Birds of Prey, the film, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, it's great. This cutscene's brilliant. I don't want to talk over this. This is just great. Maybe not yet. It's when it goes into slow motion that it's brilliant. Here we go. Awesome. I don't know if I like this Joker voice, you know. It's alright. I just think it's a... I think, to be honest, I think we've been spoiled with Joker voices with Mark Hamill. It's kind of hard to compare. The Joker's, it's either his super move or his, like, grabby one, where he just beats his opponent with a crowbar. It's, like, proper brutal. Yeah, as you can see, my tactic in fighting games is just to jump around like a maniac and hope for the best. That's to you. There we go. I probably should have waited, actually. It was a bit of a waste of that. His health bar is not going down. There we go. See, I will be interested to see what I'm like when I get around to playing the second one, because I'm much less familiar with that one. Because I'm used, even though I say I'm used to the controls, I've definitely played more of this one over the years. I think just because I like I said before, it's got more of a pick up and play feel to it. Whereas the second was a little more complex, which isn't a bad thing at all. But this one is just sort of an easy, I just want to fight with some DC superheroes. There we go.
Now stay down. Keep quiet.
I'm looking up who voices the Joker in this, because I don't believe he's done it in anything else. Richard Epcar, of course. I knew it was like a Richard someone. Yeah. Yeah, he's not bad. I just think he's a bit... Eh. I mean, the story of this is very much like a cliche alternate reality thing where some of the villains are evil and some of the, some of the villains are good and some of the heroes are evil and stuff, but it's fun.
Joker's bomb detonated. We have to get back. The watchtower should have picked up any anomalies, right?
The watchtower might not exist. I can't make contact.
We need to find out.
it caught me off guard with the second one actually, because this one is very much this universe is Green Lantern, so just call them the Prime universe, I guess. There are those characters are our way into this alternate timeline. The second one takes place entirely in the alternate timeline and follows the alternative versions of the characters. So it caught me off guard a bit, because I thought it'd be following the crossing timelines again, but it wasn't. It caught me off guard a little bit.
This how things work here? So you're green again? Something's not right. He's had a drug. Stand down. You're done here. Definitely not ours. Feel his pain? After we're done with Deathstroke, how about the three of us go talk to the High Council? You're under arrest.
Yeah, we'll see. Ooh, ooh. Let's grab one of these. Oh, come on! Can I not? I thought I could. Oh God! There we go. So, what has everyone been doing during this lockdown then? What have people been doing to occupy their time? Me, I've just been, well, trying to be productive and work on this video that I've been working on for months and months and months, and recorded the voiceover for before I had my surgery. So this was like 2 months ago, over 2 months ago now. But my laptop is just so bad. Like I'm putting loads of effort into editing this as polished as I can, and unfortunately my laptop just doesn't want. It's not gonna play. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. When I'm not doing that, watching TV shows that I've seen a million times before, but whatever, I need some comfort. And I've been trying to get through a backlog of Blu-rays as well, because I buy Blu-rays all the time and I never watch them. So I've been trying to get through. I noticed actually the film Adult Life Skills is now on Netflix, which I might watch that tonight after this actually, because it's got Jodie Whittaker in it, and I've wanted to see that since she became the Doctor. But I've never gotten around to it, and now it's on Netflix. Gives me a perfect opportunity. So yeah, might give that a go tonight.
Guess I won't be getting any more lip from her.
One thing I've done during this lockdown, I managed to get through 14 seasons of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I really enjoyed. That was really funny. But it's one of those things where you barrel through all these seasons of a show, and I'm kind of disappointed that it's over. Like, I need more, but it's one of those things. This is probably my least favourite arena in the game. It's just there's nothing really to it, really. You get to play with missiles, but apart from that. Of course, something I think everyone's been doing, if you're a Doctor Who fan, is getting involved with the watch-alongs, which have been a lot of fun. I've not been doing every one of them. I skipped the Zygon one, and the Three Doctors one I didn't go in for either, just because I'm on my marathon and I'm hesitant about doing classic ones at the moment, because I'm on my marathon of everything. But having said that, I joined in with the Five Doctors one, which was an awful lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, I'm just excited for more. Apparently there's a Love and Monsters one coming up, and oh man, if a chance to gush for an hour about Love and Monsters on Twitter, oh yes, please, I would love that so much. I adore Love and Monsters, and I don't care what you think, it's brilliant. Church like chicken, and if that isn't the hashtag, I shall riot.
Head still on straight. Get off me. Look, I'm not with them. Whoever. They know who it is. They catch you. You have the stones to refuse their amnesty. Who are they working for? Who's the only one who can keep beggars like them in line? Wonder Woman. Sinestro. On my way. Beginning to charge my rate.
I'm such a child for laughing at that.
I'll be happy to see Green Arrow dying.
I really like Sinestro's voice in this. I don't know who voices him again, but I recognise it.
Keeps getting better.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It's mini games. Oh shit, I missed it.
Amuse me, Jordan.
Why couldn't it have been just quick Can you turn these off? No, I can't. When we get back to gameplay, I'm going to look at turning these off and just replacing them with quick time events. What? Oh, well, I have to continuously rub the controller to finish this. Flick down. Miss that.
Pressing your home planet isn't enough, Sinestro. The One Earth government is similar to mine on Corridor. An alliance was logical. So for now, I tolerate you. Even powerful. But now we'll get your hands.
Miguel has just messaged me saying the live chat's running slow. Let's pause this and let's have a look. Because I have a feeling it might be just down to my internet. Oh my god, yeah. There are so many replies that I haven't. Right, yeah, okay. I'm gonna keep the live chat here on my iPad here because it's not popping up here at all. I am so sorry for anyone who think I've been ignoring their replies. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. So let's catch up a bit. The I'm Han Solo song works well with the Solo trailer, says Commander Cody. Yeah, probably does. Hey, Becca. Nice of you to join. An issue that I think this game and GC in general is Superman being evil to try and make the character interesting, and people think he's boring, where he's actually very relatable. No, I agree. Superman is not a boring character. I will not hear people say he's a boring character. He's brilliant. He's absolutely fantastic. I think it's just in this game, it's that the story of what if the man who has so much power decided to use it for evil. I can go with it for here. Which James Bond game is my favourite? Commander Cody. That's a difficult one. I really like Agent Under Fire. I think Agent Under Fire is an awful lot of fun on the GameCube. The one that I grew up playing was Quantum of Solace on the Wii and Xbox 360. Bloodstone's great. 007 Legends is bad, but I have a fondness for it, you know. Yeah, I think, you know, I think we're still waiting for a definitive James Bond game. But I don't know, we haven't received a Bond game since 2012, and that's such a shame. And I'm not sure we will ever get one at this point. Hopefully a developer comes along. Don't even tie it into anything, just tell an original James Bond story. Hang on, let's catch up again. Season 3 of I need to watch Breaking Bad. That something I desperately need to watch. Season 3 of Daredevil. Haven't seen season 3, saw the first 2. Also rewatch series 9 and 10 of Doctor Who and been taking notes on each episode. Nice. Are you gonna post anything out on social media? Because I'd be down for that. Yeah, I don't know. This live chat is not working at all. It's on my end. I can't see any. The last thing I see is from like 20 minutes ago. So I've just got it up on my iPad here now. This should be alright. But please stick around because I will be answering replies, just not on here because my PS4 hates me. YouTube didn't even give me a notification. Pfft, YouTube doesn't give anyone notifications these days. Wonder actually if I come out and will that refresh it? No, it's just not. Alright, well I've got the chat on here anyway. There we go. Hey Lewis, it's Flatcat. Hello there! How are you doing on this fine evening of chaos?
Someone call me? Sinestro Corps? Sinestro's right. Fear's more effective than willpower.
I've never seen this before, where the live chat just doesn't refresh. I don't know why it's... I don't know why it's doing that.
About order, like the Guardians.
I don't think I missed too many replies. But hopefully people who left because I wasn't replying to anyone come back and stick around, because it's not my fault that the live chat just isn't working on the screen here. So luckily I can see it on my iPad that's next to me. But yeah, that's very frustrating actually. Come on! There we go. Oh, that didn't do anything at all. That was helpful. Oh, okay. I'm going to use my super move once I've got his first thing. Hang on, what's that? When I saw your Primeval reviews, you did an impression of Cutter and went, what? Yeah, yeah. What is going on with the pair of you? Yeah. I remember doing that and just having so much fun with that on my little editing software. Taking a break from drawing the comics, sorry I'm late to the stream. Do not worry, nothing's been really happening here. As I said, the live chat's broken, so... but yeah, a break from the comic is always good. Looking forward to when the next one's out. Actually, this is a good opportunity. Flatcat Hoovian on Twitter, and on YouTube and on Instagram. Give him a follow, because he's creating a really great Doctor Who comic. So yes, 2 videos, one defending the Capaldi era and one where you analyse Series 9. Nice, because if you know me, I'm not a fan of the Capaldi era or Series 9, so I will be keenly interested in that video to see if my opinions might change, because I'm always open to hearing different viewpoints, and hopefully my opinion will... Ah, it didn't work. Hopefully my opinion will, if it doesn't change, maybe I'll see it from in a different light. Ugh. What other type of games do I play? All sorts, really. I mean, if it's fun, I'll play it. I mean, I'm not too much fan of like Call of Duty and stuff, just because I feel like I just get really bored after a while. I've been replaying the Uncharted games, which I've been really enjoying. Just finished the first Uncharted, which is dated, but it's the foundations of such a good series. Really, yeah, if it's a good game. I'm not huge on JRPGs, just because they don't. doesn't click with me. I'm trying to look at my games down here. I've really got back into, actually, before the lockdown, playing the Lego games again. Like, I've replayed every Lego Star Wars game, 100%ed every one of them. Lego Batman 1 and 2, 100%. Probably gonna get back on Lego Batman 3 soon. Yeah, I love the Lego games. GTA 5 is brilliant. And I know that seems like that seems like such a moot point, but for a while I've just been hopping into GTA 5 and just exploring it. That game is beautiful. That is a genuinely beautiful, gorgeous game. Like, the scale of that for a 7-year-old game. Alright, I was playing the Xbox One version, which has all been spiffed up and remastered and everything, but for a 7-year-old game, that thing looks gorgeous. I genuinely, there's so many times in GTA 5 where I will just sit there and just stare at the visuals. It's such an achievement in entertainment, that game. It's just incredible. Other YouTuber I watched live streaming was having problems. A lot of apps. Yeah, I guess it's just because of all that's going on with the internet and everything, with the COVID. Not surprising. I've never seen this happen before, because I'm looking at the stream here and it's working fine. There's obviously a delay. But yeah, it's weird. Yo, hi Lewis. Oh, thank you for being my 500th subscriber. Yeah, I know. We talk occasionally, so it's nice to see you here. Yeah, Miguel. Oh God. That Heaven Sent. I'm genuinely embarrassed. That Heaven Sent review I put up 5 years ago. I just think it's just a kid who doesn't understand what he's talking about, and I might put it on private. And I know I said this weeks ago, but I really just, it's so embarrassing, that, because the level of hate that I give in that is just, it's so over the top, and so, yeah, I'm so embarrassed at that. We all change after all, but I'm definitely not the same person I was 5 years ago, because that level of vitriol there was just, I was honestly embarrassed when I watched that again. I don't adore Heaven Sent. I love a lot of it, but 5 years ago, I think one of the quotes I said was, "I physically hated and despised this episode," and I'm just like, oh, grow up, kid. If I did that now, I probably would have just said, oh yeah, I didn't really click with it as much as some people did, but whatever. But yeah, I'm very embarrassed at a lot of the videos I used to put up. I know I was young, but it's just very... Yeah, some of them I'm not gonna, like the embarrassing ones where my voice is all squeaky and stuff. I won't delete them or put them on private, because that's just for posterity. But stuff like that Heaven Sent thing is just, no one needs that. No one needs that online. Oh, I'm not very good with that command, I seem to remember. Having said that, I'm doing all right now. And yeah, I love. I'm glad you finished Firefly. It's brilliant. Have you watched the film yet? Have you watched Serenity yet? Because Serenity is terrific, and it's a brilliant conclusion to the series. God, I love Firefly. It's so good. I've been rewatching Buffy from the start. Actually, I'm on halfway through season 1, and season 1 is very cheesy and dated. It's very of its time, and I can see why so many people watch season 1 of Buffy and go, is this really very good? It's very shoddy. I really enjoy it, but I think I just have a bit of a taste for silly, campy schlock, and a lot of season 1 is like that. There's some genuinely good gems in Buffy season 1. I really like Nightmares. The Puppet Show is a lot of fun. The Pack is silly fun. Witch is great. Witch is the first example of Buffy using using its platform to as an allegory for what teens go through. In Witch, it's about parents living through their children, and the plot twist in Witch, spoiler, is that this girl is actually has swapped bodies with her mother, and her mother is doing terrible things in an attempt to relive her youth, and so that's a great one. It's just a very shoddy, sort of awkward season that's very trying to find itself, and I can see why so many people are put off watching Buffy after season 1. If you are one of those people, stick with it, because it's such a good show. Have many issues with series 12, but I honestly, series 9 is the series I just can't watch. Yeah, I struggle a lot with the... Sorry, Miguel, if you're watching. I struggle a lot with that. I just find it all so pretentious and full of itself. Series 12. Right, okay, Doctor Who Series 12. I know the chat's... I will get back to all that. Doctor Who Series 12. When it aired, huge appraisal. Oh, it's better than Series 11, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I prefer Series 11. Series 11 at least sticks to what it is. Series 11 goes, right, we're going to be 10 episodes of fun and adventure and just basic Doctor Who. Great, fine. We're going to have a few sort of well-defined character arcs in there, you know. Series 12 felt like it was bending over backwards to try and please fans who said that Series 11 didn't have enough old elements in it. When that's what I personally loved about Series 11 was there was nothing from the past in it. It was all new. And then Series 12 comes Series 12 and it's just like... We've seen it all before, and the amount of plot lines that were in Series 12, I'm always just like, oh, come on. Pick a plot line, go with it. You had so many different plot strands in that, and each one of them could have made a really compelling series-long arc, but it just overstuffed so many things into it, and I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like it's just bent over backwards to try and please as many people as it could, and it's just sort of, for me, didn't quite work. I still like it as a series, but it's not one of my favourites. Have you been able to watch Clone Wars Season 7? Yes. I loved it. The Bad Batch arc was brilliant. The Ahsoka arc was enjoyable. You know, it was okay. It was fine. But those final 4 episodes for the Siege of Mandalore, Order 66, and the ending of the Clone Wars, it's some of the best Star Wars ever. It was just absolutely perfect. And I will be forever thankful to the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars introduced me to Star Wars, and then seeing it end this year was properly surreal, and I really, really enjoyed Season 7 overall. I do have Disney Plus, so I was watching them as they came out, and I just really loved it. I thought it was such a great time. Yeah, brilliant. Louise, hi. Hi, Louise. You can't join me playing this if that's what you mean, because I'm just doing a solo stream. You can join in the chat and put some messages in the chat, and I'll read them. Primeval Series 1 is of its time, especially with the scene where Abby's in her apartment with Rex. Yeah, lots of Primeval is very sort of early 2000s. It's very dated now, but I still have a fondness for it. It might just be nostalgia, but I still have a bit of a fondness for it. Not yet, but I plan to do a letterboxd review on it. Best episode was Out of Gas. Yeah, Out of Gas is my favourite episode of Firefly. I love Out of Gas. The show just remains solid. I agree with that. Firefly is a really solid show. I think there were times where it reached absolute greatness, and it's one of my absolute favourite shows. And I can only imagine how brilliant it would have been if it had continued and not got cancelled. It would have just been fantastic. Out of Gas is the best episode, yeah. Oh, the bounty hunter in the last episode is brilliant. Oh, he's so slimy, and like when he's with Kaylee and she's terrified, he just turns to her and goes, "You ever been raped?" And it's like, oh my god, I love the last episode as well, Object in Space, with Jubal Early, the bounty hunter, and yeah, that's brilliant. Can't imagine what Joe Public and Kaylee and Mal rule. Kaylee's the best character. Kaylee's brilliant, and Mal is just, oh, I love her. Can't imagine what Joe Public thought at the time as children. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing I had with it, right? Series 11 made great lengths to go, right, anyone who's never seen an episode of Doctor Who in their lives can watch this and enjoy it. You come Series 12 and we're getting like Jadoon, Captain Jack, Cybermen, Gallifrey, deep Gallifreyan lore, the Doctor's home planet. And it's just like, wow, I can't imagine. I just don't think the public give a toss anymore. If I'm being honest, I really just don't think the public really care about Doctor Who anymore, and I think it's just one of those things. If it was me, say in a hypothetical universe where, say, I took over from Chibnall after Series 11, I would have continued the same stylings, improved the threat level, decrease the use of the sonic screwdriver, give the 13th Doctor a bit more dramatic meat to work with, which is all things that Series 12 did, but I would dial back on the continuity. I would sort of pepper in monsters from the past as the series went along. So we got the Daleks in Series 11 at the end of that with Resolution. I would have put in Series 12 an Ice Warrior story, or a Sea Devil story, and then couple that with, say, I don't know, put a Dalek story in there so the public can go, hey, it's the Doctor versus the Daleks. And then the rest of it would have been all new for me, and I would have continued the trend of just having personal, emotional character arcs for the characters, rather than this big, who is Ruth, who is the Timeless Child thing. Let's hope Season 7 gets a physical release. Hope so, because my Star Wars collection is just here. I've got all the Clone Wars Blu-rays there. And I imported... Actually, I didn't import it. Someone went to America and got it for me very kindly while they were over there. The Lost Missions, which is Season 6, which never got a physical release in the UK. I hope that Season 7 of the Clone Wars will get a physical release eventually. I don't think it will be for a while. I think it will be a... And the same with The Mandalorian as well. I think it'll be a while before The Mandalorian gets a physical release, because I think Disney want people to head over to Disney Plus if you want to see the new episodes. People will pirate them, but I think they're going to remain there for at least a year or two. I hope it gets a physical release, just so I can add it in there and complete the Clone Wars collection. And I've got all of Rebels there as well, so it'd be good to have Clone Wars Seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Blu-ray, The Lost Missions, Season 7, Rebels there. That'd be nice. For now, it's on Disney Plus. I can watch it easily, but I would love to get a physical release for that, yeah. You're on Season 2 of Clone Wars. Excellent. Good luck on this journey. The Clone Wars is a brilliant show. It just gets better and better as it goes along. Season 4 is like the peak for me, because Season 4 has so many cool arcs in there. Season 3 and 4 I think are my favourite, but yeah, Season 2 is super solid. Really like that one. Series 11 got better when you rewatched it. Series 11, genuinely, as a rewatch and as a binge on a box set, say, I think that holds up really well, because it's just 10 fun stories, all an hour long, 50 minutes long. Just fun little stories from the world of Doctor Who that you don't necessarily have to pay too much attention to, but it's got a really energetic and vibrant lead, some really fun stuff in there, and it's just a very relaxing watch for me, Series 11. And yeah, like, the vile hatred for it really sort of clouded it at the time. I think now going back to it, it's just, yeah. Series 11's solid. It's like squarely in the middle of my series rankings. I just think it's a really solid series of TV. Not brilliant, there's a lot of flaws, and I think the Battle of Ranskoor Avkolos is still a really disappointing finale. But for me, the finale is Resolution. That's the finale of Series 11 to me. Yeah, because it just wraps up all the character arcs fully, and it's got it's so much more relevant to that series than Ranskoor Avkolos is. You were able to get a Lost Missions copy in the UK. It's how did you get it? Because there's a few, you can import like the Australian version, the German version. Thankfully, my aunt went to America and she managed to pick up the American version for me on Blu-ray. But yeah, it's a shame it never got a release over here. It's weird because the seasons 1 to 5 are Warner Brothers discs, whereas the Lost Missions is Disney. Disney released that disc, so I think it was in that weird sort of period where we were in the middle of the Disney transition with Star Wars, so things were getting lost in the shuffle. Yeah. You Lost Missions in CX are £43. That's ridiculous. It's weird, right? Because I remember going into CEX. CEX never used to charge extra for things that were from other countries. But there was a point, I think I saw the Blade trilogy, and it was an American release. It was the Blade trilogy on Blu-ray, and it was £30. And then they had the individual releases of them from the UK, and they were like £2 each. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Yes, I am in the UK. Have you been able to watch Primeval New World? No, and I don't really have any interest in it. If it's on TV one day, I might give it a go, but I've got really no interest beyond seeing Julie Potts as Connor again in character. I thought the game had frozen for a second there. Beyond seeing Julie Potts as Connor again, but yeah, I've got no interest in it really. Yeah, the finale of Series 12, I liked it. There's a reason I haven't reviewed it yet, and I think it's just because I don't think I will at this point, because it's been ages and no one wants to see a review of it. It's been discussed and dissected to death. Personally, I really like the revelation because I like the message that it was at. I like the message of it's not where you come from that counts, it's who you are and what you do. And I liked seeing the Doctor go through that lesson of it doesn't matter what your past is, you are the Doctor, you are a good person no matter what's been done to you in the past or what you've done in the past. And I really like that message. But yeah, Miguel, you're right, because the fan they don't really have any bearing on it. And that's what I mean, right? When I say that the series 12 bit off more than it could chew and was trying to do so many things at once, because they were trying to do like a character arc for Yaz that was mentioned occasionally, dropped because the episode had to focus on the Master and the Cybermen and stuff. And as a result, the fans just don't feel as developed as they should do, and everything just feels very underwhelming. It's a shame. You're in the UK. Excellent. I hope, Louise, that you're doing alright in the UK, considering everything that's happening and considering how much of a shambles our government is. But anyway, how would you feel if Disney bought DC and merged those characters into the MCU? I would hate the idea. Quite frankly, I would hate the idea, because I don't think Disney should... Monopolies are bad. Disney shouldn't buy DC. I just like the idea of separate universes, yeah. I don't want to see Batman with Iron Man. I don't want to, as a one-off like comic book tale, yeah. But I would hate the idea of Disney buying DC. Ugh, no, I just want DC to remain its own thing. Really, I think Patty Jenkins said recently, who directed Wonder Woman, that she, or was it her or was it someone else? I think it might have been her. That she doesn't think DC needs to be a shared universe like Marvel. And I agree. I would quite happily see them just tell Birds of Prey stories with Harley Quinn, or Wonder Woman stories, or Shazam stories. I would just quite happily see loads of those films, and occasionally a character could pop up in respective films, from other series, and it just be like, hey, it's that person. But I don't think it needs to be as connected as Marvel at all. And I think that was the stumbling block they hit in 2016 when they were doing BVS and Suicide Squad, which are just shit. Angela Potts appears every now and then towards the main characters. To warn the main characters not to mess with the anomaly. Yeah, I've read up that his role in New World is basically just a glorified cameo. I'm still interested in seeing it, but yeah. Yes, this Batman design here is what I was talking about earlier. I really like this. It's quite unique, and I like this bit on the cowl. Um, yeah, I like that. You own Doctor Who Series 12 on Blu-ray. Nice. I will get it eventually. It's because it's not one of my favourite series. I'm not in any rush, but yeah, I'll get it eventually. Probably when the price drops, I think. Disney will own everything. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I moan about Disney being a monopoly, but I signed up to Disney Plus day one. um, I'm a Disney fan. I love Disney. Disney. I've got over there. I've got a wall of VHS tapes of Disney films that I found in a box a few weeks ago. If you saw my Twitter, I love Disney. They need to stop buying things, man. Because for example, I got Jojo Rabbit on Blu-ray today, and that's a Fox title, but on the back it's got Disney's Blu-ray branding and the template. Oh, hello, Wonder Woman. That's a very revealing design. That's got Disney's Blu-ray template on it, and it's weird seeing that on a Fox title. It's very bizarre. What's this? What's this? What's this? Yeah, I agree with you there, Miguel. Luigi got it on Amazon. Nice. Did you get the Steelbook or the standard version? Yeah, this design of Wonder Woman, is, as you can see, very much heavily emphasises her breasts, and yes, uh, it's a bit weird. It kind of it reminds me of the Arkham designs. Well, I love the Arkham games, but the designs were not very good, and it's where you have these female characters that are just their boobs are so emphasised, and it's like, oh, it's yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of Poison Ivy. I really don't like the Poison Ivy design from the Arkham games because it just looks like a half-naked green lady in red underwear. It's just real bizarre. And it does sometimes come across as just like an edgy 14-year-old tried to design a character, and that's what that Wonder Woman design reminds me of, with just massively emphasised boobs, and it's like, God. A very revealing outfit, yes, indeed. Oh, you got the Steelbook, nice. I probably will get the Steelbook, actually. I don't know, I want to get the Steelbook Series 11 as well, because Series 11 I got the standard edition because it was a really nice digipack. And I kind of want to get that Series 12 as well, just to match. I don't know. I will see what happens. Thoughts on the Batman after the cast discussed how violent Batman will be? Honestly, that disappoints me. Batman's a dark character, but I also think that you should have a little bit of fun with him. Everyone loves the animated series, but you forget the animated series had some pretty silly episodes. Batman is a bit of a silly character, and I think people need to realise that. perhaps, because people are so wrapped up in him being, oh yeah, dark badass who doesn't have parents, beats people up. That's not what I like. That's not why I love Batman. I love Batman because he's a tragic character who used his pain, used this tragic act, and transformed it into something good, and vowed to never ever let anything like what happened to him happen to any other kid again. And that's why he doesn't kill, and that's why Batman not killing is so important, because Batman does not want to let another little boy in an alley lose his parents the way he did to violence, and that's why Batman doesn't kill. So seeing the cast discuss that of the Batman discuss that it's going to be brutal and uncompromising, can we just have a bit of fun with it? Not everything has to be dark and gritty. I'm not saying go like Adam West 60 series, but you know, ultimately it is a story of a man who dresses up as a bat and goes out and fights clowns. You need to have a little bit of fun with it, and I think it's a shame that some people refuse to. We'll see how it goes. I'm still so excited for the Batman because of Matt Reeves directing it. I think he's going to do a great job, and I think Robert Pattinson is a great choice for Bruce Wayne, and all the cast that have been revealed as well. Really, I want an old-fashioned detective Batman story, and I think that's what it's going to give. I just hope if Batman kills in it, it just misses the point of the character. Hopefully, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. New Batman Adventures had the best Ivy design. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'm looking. I've got a figure over there. I think I prefer the animated series design. Just because it looks a bit more sort of natural. Like I know that Poison Ivy has all these powers and stuff, but I'm never a fan when interpretations, and even like down to the comics as well. I kind of like Poison Ivy to just be a normal woman, but whereas a lot of interpretations have her skin green and all, and I don't mind that, but I think, I don't know, I always like the adaptations that make the decision to just have her be a normal woman. It's just a personal preference, really. Batman has gotten a little too dark. Yeah, it has. I mean, ultimately, I love The Dark Knight, but it inspired a bad trend of studios thinking, oh yeah, everything needs to be dark and gritty. Not realising that, yeah, Batman is a dark and gritty character, and that particular interpretation worked for it, because Batman, you can tell some seriously dark stories with it. Some of my favourite Batman stories are insanely dark and uncompromising, but I don't think that should be the only take. I rewatched Batman and Robin recently, and I had fun. It's not a great film, it's got problems, but the problems are not because it's campy and silly. If anything, that adds to it. Campiness and silliness and cheesiness in superhero stuff is not a bad thing, and if you think it's a bad thing, that probably says a bit more about you than it does anything else. It's a personal preference thing, but it's like Superman does not need to be edgy and dark. Superman is the ever optimistic best of humanity, and if any character, that's not the character you need to make dark and edgy. And I can deal with this because it's an alternate reality story, but I see stuff like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and it's trying to treat Superman like he's this miserable twat. It's just like, Superman, can we have Superman smiling again? Get the trunks back, get the yellow S on the back of the cape back. Yeah. Have you played the Batman Telltale games? No, but I really want to. I believe I've got one of them free on PS Plus. I think I've got Season 1 free, so I should probably jump into that soon. Harley Quinn. I've forgotten what this design's like. I quite like that design for Harley, actually. Because for me, Harley designs, if they go too sexual, I've spoken about this before, they miss the point of the character sometimes, because the character is, at her core, meant to be a victim of domestic abuse. And I think sometimes that can work. Like in Birds of Prey, The film, her outfits aren't like revealing, but they're clearly a woman owning her sexuality and recovering from an abusive relationship. So when things like when interpretations have Harley Quinn in insanely revealing outfits, I think, well, I don't know, I just get a bit weird with that. But yeah, sorry, I was elsewhere. I don't know which film casting feels more bizarre: Robert Pattinson as Batman or Jim Carrey as Robotnik. See, Pattinson as Batman, I think is a great choice because you look at him and everything he's done. Because loads of people when he was announced were going, "Oh, the Twilight guy. Oh, it's going to be awful. It's going to ruin Batman." Guys, he's done more than Twilight. The guy is an accomplished actor now. It's like Zac Efron. Zac Efron has come a long way since being the teen heartthrob in High School Musical. He is a great actor now, and I think Robert Pattinson, he looks like Bruce Wayne. He looks like that loner millionaire playboy. And that costume test of him in the cowl, he just looked like Batman. And Jim Carrey's Robotnik, I haven't seen the Sonic film, but I've seen a lot of clips, and if anything was to persuade me to watch it, it would be Jim Carrey being 90s Jim Carrey again, because I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey. And I love him. I love mental Jim Carrey, so... Yeah, that's it. The DCEU misses the point of Batman. Oh, sorry, just hit the home button. Misses the point of Batman so much. Batman doesn't kill, as for all the reasons I just said. Batman does not kill. He should never, ever kill. Ever. And I know people are going to say, well, he killed in the Nolan films. Have you watched the Nolan films? The Nolan films are into... See, look at that design. That's ridiculous. It looks like a 14-year-old's porn drawing. What was I saying? Oh my god, what was I saying? Yeah, right, yeah. Have you seen the Nolan films? The Nolan films make a big point of saying that Batman doesn't kill. They have that whole scene in the first film where he puts down the gun and throws it in the river because his parents would be ashamed of him. Yeah, alright, there are circumstances which might lead to the death of villains. That doesn't mean Batman's killed them. Batman does not kill. And having him be so unbelievably brutal, the Batfleck version, and people are going to say like, oh, it's the narrative arc in that is about him learning not to kill, and I'm just like, right, okay, fine, but you're trying to deconstruct a version of Batman that you haven't bothered to construct in the first place within the narrative. I don't buy it. What do you mean, Louise, about Doctor Who Blu-ray books? Alrighty then. Should there be a Batman movie set in the 30s and a Spider-Man film set in the 60s? Interesting you to talk about Spidey film set in the 60s. If you watch the first Sam Raimi film, you can kind of look at that as a period piece. Because, yeah, they use some modern technology, like TVs, and cars, but there is a sense of timelessness to that film, with the dialogue, and the dialogue feels straight out of a 60s comic book. And nothing really ever says, we're in 2002. Lots of that feels like a 60s period piece. Not all of it, but lots of it does. I would be so down to see a 60s set Spider-Man film. Thanks, Happy Pill. I would be so down to see a 60s set Spider-Man film. That'd be excellent. Oh, that'd be so cool. And because I love those early Ditko comics so much. As for a Batman film set in the 30s, yeah, I could go down with that. I think you'd have to... because you would have to make allowances for the fact that times have changed since 1930 and 1960 in Spidey's case. in terms of the representations of the characters and everything. And the Batman that appeared in 1930 is very different from the Batman we're sort of taken into our hearts. It's still the same character, still all the same values at its core, but it's very different, and I think you'd have to take that into account. Come on. There we go. I love the Raimi Spider-Man films. I should rewatch the Raimi trilogy. Mate, if you go to my Letterboxd account, you will see I wrote 3 very personal essays about each of the Spider-Man films. Those are films that are just very, very, very personal to me. They inspired my love of the character. They inspired my interest in filmmaking. They are perfect films, and this is what I mean about characters having a goofy edge to them. They're goofy films, but they've got so much heart. They're so sincere. The characters are at the centre. Even Spider-Man 3, which a lot of people hate, hear me out. I wrote a big long essay about why it's actually pretty good. Spider-Man 3 is a story of pride and ego getting the best of Peter Parker. After Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker finally gets the happy ending. Spider-Man 3 is the story of a man who thinks that he's accomplished everything in life and who thinks that his life is perfect. Let me just pause this a second. And who thinks that his life is perfect. And he's delusional. And he's not listening to people. And he doesn't take in the information he wants. And his worldview at this point is very much, I'm the hero. Anyone that opposes me is immediately the villain. And Spider-Man 3 is a film about Peter realising that he's turned into a dick. It's a film about him realising that he's fallen to the sin of pride and the sin of ego. And Spider-Man stories are built on their character and drama. And that is a great bit of drama. That is a great bit of drama for a Spider-Man story. To have this character who we've seen through the second film get punched in the gut by life at every turn, and when he thinks he's finally had a happy ending, it goes to his head and he turns into a dick. And a lot of people say Peter Parker's really out of character in that film. No, he isn't. He's totally in character. He's turned into a dick because he's fallen to the sin of pride and greed and ego. And in Eddie Brock in that film, yes, he's not like the comics, but he's the perfect mirror to this version of Spider-Man, because he's never had an Uncle Ben. He's never had an Aunt May to guide him on the right track. He is Peter Parker if Peter Parker had had none of the guidance that was instilled upon him. And Sandman's story as well is about Peter learning that the world isn't black and white, that he's not automatically the hero and villain, that he has flaws. Peter Parker has flaws. It's about him learning to accept his flaws and and to forgive people. And ultimately, the film is about forgiveness, and it ends. It ends on a bittersweet moment of two fractured lovers, promising to build up their relationship again. And for a superhero film to end on that tragic note, how brave is that? Spider-Man 3 is brilliant. And yes, it tonally quite jarring. Yes, structurally it's a bit of a mess. But it's a really beautiful human story of human drama. And I just love it. And as you know, Spider-Man 2 is incredibly personal to me. It's one of my all-time favourite films. I could gush about Spider-Man 2 for years. One thing I noticed about Raimi Spider-Man is the picture quality gets better. Yeah. Oh yeah, Spider-Man 1 and 2 looked so different. Spider-Man 1 was shot in... Spider-Man 2 was framed in 1851, so the picture filled the screen, apart from tiny little black bars. Like, tiny ones. Spider-Man 2, they made the switch to shoot on Super 35, which allows... the director to compose each individual shot without having to worry about restricting the camera. And so Spider-Man 2 has an aspect ratio of 2:3:5:1 or thereabouts, so you've got the black bars on the top and bottom. So even just a 2 year difference, Spider-Man 2 looks so much more cinematic than Spider-Man 1, and then Spider-Man 3 sets, um, ups the ante again. And it's just, and the fact that they're all shot on film. I have the 4K box set. They look amazing. And the CGI still holds up. Is this going to turn into a Raimi gush fest? Because it probably is. Louis Price, Marvel, MCU films and TV series. Hi, the classics are Ace. Sorry, it's been a while. I was just raving about Raimi. Could you pay me in advance? Insert J. Jonah Jameson laugh. Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. The main reason why Spider-Man 1 feels like it's in the 60s is likely because Sam Raimi grew up reading 60s Spidey comics. Yes! Those, and that's why Venom in Spider-Man 3 doesn't quite, I think it works quite well, thematically. But Venom in Spider-Man 3 is shoehorned in because Sam Raimi wasn't a fan of Venom. As simple as Sam Raimi's era was the 60s. So, and the films reflect that. So Spider-Man 1, the villain is the Green Goblin, 60s villain. Spider-Man 2, the villain is Doc Ock, 60s villain. Spider-Man 3, Sandman, 60s villain. Harry Osborn is the Goblin. Again, it continues that saga. Venom is a late 80s, 90s villain. So, yeah. How do you feel about an American actor being cast as the Doctor? Robin Williams would have been absolutely perfect. I can imagine a portrayal that's kind of like Pat Troughton. Shame he's passed. Robin Williams' death is still heartbreaking to me, and he would have been great as the Doctor. I watched Aladdin again recently, and it's just, oh, what a man! It's so brilliant. I'm always like, I think Doctor Who should retain a sense of that British quaint nature to it. I have no, it doesn't bother me. If an American actor were to be cast, I think now that we've got a female Doctor, it kind of the floodgates have been open to a lot more diverse casting choices. I think, which is nice, because now it could literally be anyone. It could feasibly be anyone. I mean, it could before, but the fact that we've had a female Doctor, and it has been for the most part a success and has renewed interest in the brand, at least for Series 11. Has been cool. My vote would be for the Doctor for the next. I think Jamila Jamil would be a great Doctor. If you're not familiar with Jamila Jamil, she played Tahani in The Good Place, and in that she's a very arrogant character. But seeing her in interviews, she's really smart and funny and like that. Like she's like questions will be asked and she'll come back with a witty, snarky response like that. She's very Doctorish to me. I think Jamila Jamil would be a brilliant Doctor. I don't think it'll ever happen because after she starred in The Good Place, she lives in LA now, I think, and she's just gone on to great success there. So I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think she'd be brilliant in the role. Honest opinion, prefer Tom Hardy's Venom to Topher Grace. To be honest, they're completely different. Tom Hardy is definitely more of an Eddie Brock, but Topher Grace works for the story he's in. He's not brilliant, Topher Grace. I'm not going to go, oh yeah, he's brilliant, but he's not. But he works for the story he's in. Tom Hardy's Venom is a lot more fun to watch. They're really different. Venom Let There Be Carnage is such a stupid title. The first Venom to me was really it was just so like 2003 superhero movie trash. But with Andy Serkis directing the second one, I have high hopes. As for where Spider-Man stands within it all, well, if you know me, you know I'm not a fan of MCU Spider-Man, but I'm cautious to see what Sony are going to do with it. Because is Spider-Man going to appear in it? Is Spider-Man going to appear in Morbius? I don't like seeing Spider-Man used because Spider-Man is my character. He's one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. He's incredibly personal and incredibly inspirational to me. So to see him being used in a corporate tug of war by two companies who both want to use him and are just like fighting for the rights to use him, it makes me sad. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Fan of Star Trek? No. I like the new films with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto. That probably pisses off a lot of the hardcore fans, but because it's such a big franchise, it's always difficult for me to find the motivation to sit down and just because I'm a completionist, I would want to watch everything. And it's because it's so big, it's a struggle for me. But I have seen the Calvin timeline trilogy with the new films, and I really enjoyed those for what they are. They could have a Canadian master like Balshek, or however you say his fucking name, who has the catchphrase, "Good Lord!" Oh, please. Oh, that man. The less we see of that man, the better, says Aunt May. Yes, that he's so hateful. I don't know what... Having a problem with what he has a problem with is one thing, but then taking it like... Diversity hire number 5 before even seeing their character and just seeing the fact that this character isn't a straight white male and going, "You're a diversity hire," is so damaging and he's so hateful. I just though it is funny when a celebrity that he likes supports left-wing views, because he'll make a video and go absolutely mental. To this day, one of the funniest things I've ever seen is when he got annoyed at Mark Hamill for, I think Mark Hamill to put a tweet out about supporting women's rights or something, and he made a video like, "When did you drink the fucking Kool-Aid, Hamill? Why? Do you really want your career to be ruined like this? Why?" And he's getting so angry, and it's like, dude, you're getting angry at a person for supporting women. Like, why are you like this? Who hurt you? Ugh. Is there a story behind the name Gargantuan Apple? Yeah, it's not a very good story. I think I've told it before. It was literally just, I was lying in bed one night, a 12, 13-year-old, 11-year-old me, however old I was, and I was a big fan of the Gaming Lemon channel. And I was sort of going, oh, I could do that. I could do the adjective object. So I was just like, what's similar? Apple? Gargantuan, the Gargantuan apple. It's so shameless. It's so shameless, but whatever. Thoughts on the idea that Jodie Whittaker era takes place in a parallel universe? It definitely explains the Master suddenly be evil again. I don't think it does take place in a parallel universe, but I think the Master being evil again, there is more than that. More to that than meets the eye. Because the redemption storyline with Missy is far too good to waste. And, yes. We'll see what happens with that. I'll probably go for another 15-20 minutes and then end this, I think. It's been quite nice, actually, but we shall see. We shall see, indeed, how things go. What the hell is wrong with him? Who knows? Who knows who hurt him? At this point, it's a shame because Balchek or Bolshek or however you say his name used to be alright. Like, he used to make decent Blu-ray collections and Blu-ray reviews and stuff. He used to be fairly alright. And then he just started hating. He's found an audience that will respond to blind hate. And he's found his niche, and that audience just keeps responding to it, which is a shame. How did I discover Primeval? My mum watched it, and she was a fan of it, and I was a fan of Doctor Who at the time. And I guess she thought, well, this is kind of ITV's answer to Doctor Who. Let's sit down and watch it. And the first episode I watched was the Series 3 episode with the G-Rex, where the team is in the airport and Connor gets hit in the head, and I remember that shot of the G-Rex like looking at Connor and stuff. That was the first one I watched. That was 2009, Series 3, 2008, 2009, something like that. So yeah, but simple, really. And I really enjoy it. It gets a lot of shit now, and I don't think it's a show that is held together extremely well. But it's not as bad as people say it is. yeah, it's a decent show. Alright, yeah. Oh yeah, honestly, having the master be all crispy again would be hella interesting. Oh god, Killer Frost, she's pretty cool in this. I like the sort of mohawk. Um, Arrow Man. Um, yeah, but you could do Crispy Master again. I would. I'd be down for that. You could pull off some gnarly looking effects these days. I mean, I know it's too scary, but you know, Peter Capaldi got burned a few series ago, so. Yeah. What was Nigel Marven doing there? I don't get the. I've never got that. Shoot Grundy. This should be fun. Oh, right. Why could you not just use the trigger to shoot? This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's go for a headshot. Oh, it's not working. Come on, there we go. These mini games are properly bad. Oh. Come on. These minigames feel like the game is trying to be something and it isn't. Like, it's a fighting game at the end of the day. I'm good with Green Arrow, so this should be good. I'm pretty good with him. There we go. The random carry from Nigel Marven, yeah, was interesting. It's an obvious carry to do, but it's just like, God. I always thought Series 3 of that was my favourite, but Series 2 is probably better. The Gaming Lemon is great. I remember growing up with this Hulk GTA video and Hulk vs Iron Man video, and remember characters like Jon Joe. Honestly, some of the happiest times of my life was just sitting on my grandparents' house on their computer watching the Gaming Lemons GTA 4 videos and just laughing like crazy, and his Minecraft videos as well with the Lemoncraft series. Oh man, just so much nostalgia, and it's immature humour, but I love it. And it was just, yeah, Joel and James, and good memories, man. Good memories. And all the stock music tracks that he'd use forever burned into my brain. Doodaloo-doo, 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 doodaloo-doo. Yeah. I'll check messages in a minute. Let me just finish this fight. There we go. Would you want to see the director's cut of Amazing Spider-Man 2? They cut a lot from the film, like MJ was actually cast in it. God, yes. I love Mark Webb as a director from 500 Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer is one of my favourite films. And when you watch that film, you think, God, Mark Webb, this indie director, making a Spider-Man film? That should be the best thing ever. And because of studio interference, it wasn't. But the material is something I'm very interested in. I don't think it'll ever happen now. Take away attention from the MCU Spider-Man, but I would love to see it, because you're right, Shailene Woodley was cast as MJ, and you look at Shailene Woodley and you think, yeah, she looks like MJ, she looks like the Amazing Spider-Man Universe's version of MJ, but the fact that that is an entire subplot and an entire character that was cut from that film, when that film is as overstuffed as it is, it's kind of incredible, it's kind of insane, actually. Freeze Killer Frost, that's nice. And I cannot quite believe that it happened, really. But you look at Shailene Woodley; she looks like MJ. Even if it's just, even if it's not a director's cut, can we just get footage of her as MJ? Like, just release it. I don't know. I did. The great tragedy is that Mark Webb didn't get to make a Spider-Man film, because it should have been. High Top Films made the joke that it should have been The Perks of Being a Wall Crawler, and it would have been excellent. It would have been so good. He's such an indie director. He was, and 500 Days of Summer just shows how brilliant he'd be. But no, I would honestly love to see a really indie, small-scale Spider-Man film that focuses less on the superhero action, and it will never get made because general audiences don't want to see that. General audiences want spectacle, and I can understand that. But I would love a small, personal Spider-Man film about Peter Parker. Maybe that's kind of my passion project that I'd love to make, actually. I know every sort of aspiring creative has that one project that they would love to take on, and for me, it is a small-scale Peter Parker film. I would adore that. And I do have, kicking around in my notes, a pitch for a live-action Spider-Man show that is far too expensive to make at the moment, because the technology is not there yet to do the swinging and all the spectacle I want. Basically, my pitch is just Spectacular Spider-Man, but live action. And I've got notes for like episodes and arcs and everywhere, and I'd love to like make it one day. This whole like 8-season long TV show about Peter Parker, and the arcs. Oh, I love this bit. Sorry. That's a really nice heartfelt moment. And the arcs would all cover famous arcs from the comics, and it would be like Buffy in that you start off when Peter Parker is like a week after his spider bite, and he's in school, and as the series goes on over 8 seasons, he gets married to MJ, and you get all of his love affairs, and it ends. My pitch would end with an adaptation of the Ultimate Comic story, The Death of Spider-Man, and it would end on a tease of Miles Morales, and the big threat. The big bad over the whole series, you'd have sort of big bads per season, but the big threat of the whole series would continuously be the Goblins and the Norman Osborn and the Osborn family, and that whole story, and that would be the biggest sort of conflict. And you'd have like Venom and Carnage, and you do what you get to that eventually. But I wouldn't want to do that first season. First season for me would be Peter getting used to his powers, a couple of classic villains, end with the introduction of the Goblin. If I was making a Spider-Man show, I would introduce Venom in like season 3 or maybe season 4, when you've known the character, you've got used to this version and all its villains and everything. Then you do Venom. Then you play with his personality and you show his darker side. I think that would be cool. I would love to make that. I loved Nigel's old Dino work he did with BBC. So when I saw him in that one episode, yeah, Nigel Marven gets eaten in that, doesn't he? It's really weird. It's really, it's a bizarre thing. Admittedly, it'd be the same situation as DC for Thomas and the Magic Railroad, where the cut content would probably, yeah. It's like the Snyder Cut, isn't it? The Snyder Cut of Justice League, the cultists who want that, and if you I would like to see it, but I'm just not harassing people and going, release the Snyder Cut. I don't personally think it would make the film a whole lot better. I think the problems with it would still be there, and I don't think it would be a lot better, but I'm interested to see it. But Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm not sure how much of the footage they cut would make it a better film. I don't know. The thing is, Andrew Garfield's proven he's a great actor. I was about to mention the deleted scene where Peter meets his dad. Andrew Garfield was brilliant. I feel so sorry for him that his time as Spidey got cut short because of all sorts of bollocks that he had no control over. He's such a good actor, and that scene where he meets his dad is like probably the best bit of acting in the entire film, and it got cut, and it's like the fact that a big plot line like that got cut is probably indicative that this was a film. This is a complete clusterfuck. But yeah, hire this man as director for a Spider-Man series. I would be terrible, but I have ideas of how I would adapt Spider-Man, and it's certainly a passion project of mine. I would love to make a Spider-Man thing. I'd love to sort of give my voice to Spider-Man as a character, be that on a TV series or a film. It's definitely a passion project. Maybe one day when I get friends who are up for it and I get some finances, maybe I'll make a little Spider-Man short film or something. Miguel, like I've just said, I would happily meet up and turn that into a short film. I think with Game of Thrones, for example, this series that I'm proposing would need a budget like that to do swinging scenes on a TV budget, and to do villains like Doc Ock. You need a high budget, and I don't think the TV industry is quite there yet. Which is why I would sort of love to see a small-scale Peter Parker film as well, just a week in the life of Peter Parker or something. Have a few little bits of Spider-Man battles in there, Spider-Man scenes, but yeah, it's all sort of born out of, for me, I'm just not happy with what the MCU is doing personally, because I just feel like you've turned Spider-Man into this apprentice for a billionaire, and for me Spider-Man's like the most working class superhero there is, and just giving him this $1 million suit and having him constantly be in the shadow of Iron Man, I'm not a fan of that, but that's just me. Lewis, if you'd want your Picture of Spider-Man series adapted as a comic, let me know. Yes. Yeah, I mean, my only worry about would be about doing it as a comic, or even a cartoon, would be that similar things have already been done, as Spectacular Spider-Man, for example, and the comics, like the original comics. Is why I think doing it as a live action thing, like a really sticking close to the progression of Peter Parker's life, would be quite interesting. And even I've in my notes I've put I've got really obscure villains that you chuck in there and have Spider-Man make fun of. You could have a scene in an episode, say, where early one morning Peter Parker's on his way to school or college or wherever he is at this point in his life, and he gets distracted by this crime, and he turns up there and it's someone like Walrus Man or something. And you just have this comedy little bit where Spider-Man's like, "What, Walrus Man? Are you being serious?" And he just takes the piss out of him. Have obscure, silly villains like that. Just cause a bit of a nuisance for Peter Parker. Don't have episodes to themselves, but have them cause a little bit of a nuisance. Because one of my favourite things about the Ultimate Spider-Man video game is just you have occasionally supervillains pop up on the street, low-level supervillains like Shocker, and you just have to stop them from stealing. And it wouldn't be a mission or a side mission. It'd literally be a random event in the city, and it would just be Shocker is attempting to rob a bank, just defeat him. And I think you could translate that quite well, and then maybe that leads to Parker being late for whatever he's going to, which of course creates the classic Spider-Man conflict there. Yeah, I don't know. Were you ever able to check out BBC's Walking With series? I like the Walking With Dinosaurs stuff. Yeah, I used to quite enjoy that as a kid. It was definitely I went to see the Walking With Dinosaurs live stage show when I was younger, and that was it was the biggest thing in the world for me. I think we'll finish the Screen Arrow bit, and then I'm going to head off, because it's not getting super late, but people in the house will be going to bed. I don't want to disturb them, so... But yeah. I'm actually glad to talk about that Spider-Man project I want to do, actually, because that's quite a passion project of mine. Okay, yes, Cyborg. Have you played PS4 Spider-Man? I adore PS4 Spider-Man. Where is he? Here he is. I've done a stream of it before on this channel. There he is. I adore PS4 Spider-Man. I think takes inspirations from Spider-Man 2. 2018 was the golden year of Spider-Man, because we had him play... Alright, I'm not a fan of the MCU version of him, but we had him playing with the Avengers in Infinity War. And then we had Spider-Man PS4. And then we had Into the Spider-Verse, and it was just, it's perfect. And Spider-Man PS4 is just a wonderful adaptation that gets to the core of the character. has some sort of modern sensibilities put in there, but it puts Peter Parker at the heart of the story, and that's my thing that I want to see in any Spider-Man adaptation. Peter Parker has to be at the core of the story. He has to be the focus. But yeah, so I think we're going to end it here. Just wait for this cutscene to end. Thank you for joining this. This has been fun. I'm sorry this live chat isn't working, but this has been an awful lot of fun. I have enjoyed doing this. I'll probably do another one at some point in the next few weeks, probably on Injustice 2. I'm glad you're all doing all right. Thank you for joining. We'll just finish this cutscene and then we will head off. It's I haven't done a stream in a while just because these streams were never that popular on my channel. But I just thought with this coronavirus stuff, I've got to make sure everyone's alright, especially because my next video, I don't know when it will be. I want it to be that title sequence video, because I'm working on it every chance I get. It's just working out the motivation to sit in front of a screen that says rendering for like half an hour for something that should take 10 minutes. It's quite an ambitious edit, and hopefully it'll be done within the next few weeks. I think one day this week I'm just going to have a day where I'm just going to sit myself down and go, right, you're going to finish this, you're going to sit through the rendering, you're going to do it. I will be doing another stream. Someone's asked that question. Yes, I will. It's some point in the next few weeks, maybe next week or something. Maybe it's a weekly thing, like every Monday. That might be cool, mightn't it? So yeah, I'm glad people have joined in. I hope everyone's doing alright. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Bye bye!